This segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and it's my pleasure to introduce. We got several people, or cast, I should say, from the new play that's coming out at Le Petit Theater. Le Petit After Dark, and it's named Extremities. We got, of course, all the way on the end, we have the director of the play. We have Michael Burrow. And then coming in the middle, we have Terrence Beauvalin, who's playing the character Raoul. And then we also have Thais DeFillo, who plays Marjorie in the play. Thank you all very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Michael, let me start with you. Being the director of this play, can you explain, what it is, where it, first, I guess, debuted at, and how long y'all been working?
So it first debuted off Broadway in the early 80s. It's written by William Mastro Simon. And then after a run off Broadway, it was made into a film in the late 80s, starring Farrah Fawcett.
Okay, yeah. Wonderful. And it was called Extremities was the name of the
Extremities.
film? Okay, and what's the brief, I guess, of the theme of it, or what's the...
The theme is domestic violence and how a woman can overcome that and really take control of her life.
Okay, a serious topic.
Very serious topic.
Definitely not a comedy.
It is not a comedy. It is not.
Okay, Terrence, let me ask you, can you tell me, who Raoul is and who's your character?
Raoul he's a rough guy. So he doesn't have any redeeming qualities, but as the play goes on and as things develop and unfold, you do get to see a little bit of an arc for him, but ultimately it culminates with a huge expression and a whole bunch of turns, twists. So you definitely got to come check it out, because that'll let you see the full range and the full journey that Raoul goes through in this production.
So I don't guess it's anything that you could play on your personal experience, being such a
No. It's completely different from who I am. This is not the normal thing for me. And I say that the whole time we're doing anything, I'm constantly apologizing, because it's a huge difference. But it is a joy to portray this character, and it is a huge challenge and test. And I am enjoying it as much as I can without being mentally crazy.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's really acting. Some people just, actors get on the stage and they just play themselves, and that's not really, doing it. This playing somebody totally different, that really must be a challenge.
Yeah.
All right, and Thais, can you tell me, who your character is?
Well, I play the role of Marjorie, and Marjorie, I feel as she's a very energetic female. I feel as though she is very independent. She's very loyal to her friends until she's faced with this stranger, Raoul. At that point, I feel as though she second guesses herself, her character. She has to make a decision. It's fight or flight. She makes some decisions throughout the production as to what she's going to do with her friends coming into the home, and she has to see exactly how they fit. How is she going to convince them, like, what happened to her? And in that instance, she has to really take control of herself and of her mental state, and just in that moment realize, okay, what am I going to do? And make some really, really tough decisions. Like, okay, am I going to let him live? Am I going to kill him? So.
Okay, so was this, a character for you that you found difficult, or was some things that you were able to relate to? Or?
I found it very challenging to relate to her as far as sympathy on certain aspects when it came to Raoul. especially this day and age, I feel like women empowerment is very, very important. A lot of times as women, we stifle our voices and we don't stand up for ourselves. So I found a lot of empowerment portraying this character, and just finding strength in her. And I also feel that a lot of times women, we kind of second guess ourselves. And I feel that Marjorie, when she decided that she wanted to take a stand, she took that stand and she stood firm on her actions and her decisions. And if it wasn't for her friends just stepping in and realizing that they had to play a role in some of that decision making as well, then that's when even more of the story kind of, takes a turn and, started doing this thing. Yeah.
It definitely seems interesting. Got to go to see, how it turns out, and be interested to see how what happens to Raul over there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Michael, tell us, we got about 20 seconds, when the play's going to air and
the play premieres, it's May 1st through 3rd. It's one weekend only, and it's part of our After Dark series.
Okay, and if you want to get tickets, where can you get them?
Go to our website, homalittletheater.com.
All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll talk a little bit more about, the play and its relationship with a local organization, The Haven. So stay tuned for that right when we get back, right here on HTV.
This segment was brought to you by Waits and Downer, attorneys at law.
Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and we're talking a little bit about the upcoming play at Le Petit Theater, Extremities, and of course it's being directed by Michael Groh, who's sitting up on stage with me, and then also now joining us we have a member of the board of directors and also acting as assistant director of the play. We have Hope Daigle. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And then we have Julie Pellegrin, who is here, who is the executive director of The Haven as well. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Michael, of course, let me ask you, this deals with a very, strong subject about, or one that, it can be difficult to approach. Can you tell us, a little bit about that and how that relates to the play?
So just from personal experience, my mom and I have been through similar situations that are dealt with in the play. And so I'm really bringing that in to heighten the story. And with The Haven, my mom and I always say we're huge supporters of The Haven, that if we would have needed it back in the day. And I think it's such an important partnership with this story, specifically dealing with domestic violence and violence against women, that we partnered with such a wonderful organization.
Certainly. And Hope, let me ask you, being a member of the board of directors, was it, a conscious decision that this was a subject that needed to be talked about this area, and seemed like The Haven would be a perfect opportunity to get them involved?
Well, the After Dark committee, we voted on it, and the first thing that came to mind was to partner with The Haven. We want to do outreach with the community. We definitely want to support organizations that, we can partner with, like The Haven, which is a great organization. So at the theater on every night, which is May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we're going to have a box, and we're going to let people come in and donate into the box every night what we're listing that The Haven needs. So that's what we're doing for the play.
All right. And Julie, let me ask you a little bit. This, I think we have on the screen a list of some of the things. Can you, the print's kind of small. Is there some things you can tell us what The Haven needs as well?
So we need the same things that everybody needs in their house, but we have about 7 to 8 families living there at any time, so we're consuming them in a great bulk. So toilet paper, paper towels, Lysol, laundry detergent, garbage bags, shampoo, conditioner, canned goods, any of those kinds of things that you're utilizing in your house. We also need them to help to be able to house the bulk of families that we house each year.
Okay, and I know they're going to be having, drop-off locations at the theater themselves for when the play's airing, but is there any other place, if you're not attending, where can you drop off those supplies?
You can definitely drop them off at our offices, and you can call us at our number at 985-872-0757, and we'll give you the locations that they can be dropped off at.
Okay, and could you tell us, being a director, how long you've been doing this, and then why you, think or why you believe, which we all know is how this is such an important area where people need help, and how you're able to play a role in it.
Yeah, so I've been with the Haven for about 25 years now. I started as a counselor there and then became the director. So I've been honored to be a part of the work for a very long time, and very honored by the community for allowing me to have the role for such a long time. Community partnerships are the key to the success for the Haven. We could not provide the services that we provide or the opportunities we provide to families to escape violence without these critical partnerships. So it's such an honor that Petit reached out to us, and we're partnering on this. The subject is so taboo, as you know. People don't want to talk about it. It's often things that people are embarrassed about or they fear having a stigma about. And so the fact that the theater is very willing to put on the play, talk about the subject matter, gives a lot of people hope that they could also turn their lives around. So it's an honor for us to partner with the theater, and we're super proud of being in a community where the community is willing to talk about the issue of domestic violence.
Certainly. And Michael, let me ask you a little bit, how long, I know this is a subject that you definitely want to make sure all your actors and everything are well prepared. It's one that's really going to, I guess, demand a strong performance from them. How do you go about trying to make sure you get the best out of, the stars out there?
As delicately as possible. Because, look, we have an amazing team. Our other cast members, Mindy Guidros and Madison Wagner, are doing fantastic, but also bringing in other board members that can help with fight choreography and intimacy coordination, just to make the entire experience of this show as safe as possible, but also knowing that there are people in the real world that go through this every single day. And you can definitely, we leave rehearsal laughing, but we also leave knowing that we do have a very important responsibility to tell this story as authentic as possible, so that it doesn't, I'm a miss for words, to not put down an experience from someone, that people leave the theater knowing the gravity of the situation.
Well, and it is a strong situation, but that doesn't mean you can't go there and still be entertained by it. So it's going to be great to see the cast perform.
The talent is amazing.
And let's see, and again, what's the dates?
May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
There we go. And could you tell us, again, how can they get tickets if any?
They can go to our website at homelittletheater.com and get tickets there. And we also have the list from the Haven on the website as well.
All righty. Well, thank y'all very much, and wish y'all the best success.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.
This segment was brought to you by Trapp Chevrolet. We're always on your side.